Alright, welcome back to Midwest DBS, and I got one more little quick deck tech for you. I tried to make it just a little different because everyone's seen this leader a lot with basically Broly HOM or Broly U6, and it's just been around in the meta for a while. It's really good. So basically, the front side allows you to +2. You take a life, which is a card. Then you get one off your library, which is another card. So it self awakens and it +2 at the very beginning, which is really relevant. Just getting those two cards in your hand. Now the fun side is this side. So with this side, when he attacks, you just draw a card. And also once per turn, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards, any of them, and switch them to rest mode. The other part is you can take a life, and when you take a life, you can restand any card. You can restand one of your energy, one of your battle cards, or even the leader himself. So he can get in there and swing again and draw another card. He's probably the most generic, versatile leader in the game right now. Well, him or Shinron, but Shinron just took a big hit with that errata that came out. So we're gonna go over this deck. I tried to make it a little different. It's and you'll see. So the first card we play as the four of is this new card that came in the Magnificent Collection. This card right here is really good. It can be used just for combo power, but the better part is the activate battle, where you can just put it straight into your drop and draw a card. So if you do that, you won't get the combo power for this card, but the card that you draw off this, you can still use during your combo step to keep comboing. The good thing about this, it essentially makes your deck a 46 card deck, so you're more likely to hit the important cards you need to hit when you need to hit them. Going forward, which basically makes your deck a 42 card deck, which makes it more likely that you're going to hit those things as Successor or Hope. So, and this finds anything with 4 or less with swap. That's also Goku lineage. So essentially, we're running a 42 card deck with the Paragus and this and there, allowing us just to hit the cards we need to see the cards we need to see when we need to see them. So we're going to go into the swap package. Swap package is straightforward. You run 3 adopted father son Gohans. This is what you're wanting to see a lot of times turn 1. It also has blocker, which is sometimes if you need to play defensive later, you can play it down. Second is your swap target that provides pressure, which is dependable Dynasty Son Goku. It's 3 of, and then we also run 2 of the 10K. Now they both can apply pressure on the turn they're allowed to swing. The difference is this one is good against a lot of different matchups that you know that are removal heavy because it has barriers, so it allows you to get into the next card, which is really important for the deck. This one applies more pressure because it's 15K, and the decks that aren't running tons of removal, this card can get in there and do a lot of damage. Next, this is what really makes the deck tick. You run 4 of these. This is a lot of times you can just awaken on turn 2 or turn 3. Because your leader allows you to take a life, sometimes you'll take a life, and then you play this down, and then between your next leader swing taking a life and him taking up to 1 or 2, you kind of hold your awaken turn situationally. Basically, sometimes you want to do it turn 2 and push him hard. Sometimes you want to wait till turn 3. But what he does, he's just like digging deep Vegeta. You swing, you can take up to 1 or 2 life. He restands and he gets a plus 5K boost, allowing him to swing again. And a lot of times this is just lights out. This applies so much pressure with the swap package that you can really deal a lot of damage really quick. And it's good to get Shinron leaders. We'll see how much we see of them going forward. This is still in the current meta pre-ban, but I just want to get this out of here because there are little differences than the normal variants. Planet Vegeta can restand your apes, which we do run some apes, and you can search any same with a energy cost of 4 or less. So once again, this can thin your deck more, but at an investment of 1 energy, where the other ones were just free. So some apes we run. This one. So a lot of turns after going in off your aggro plan and you're restanding energy with your Broly on the awaken turn, sometimes you can just press harder for that game, but if you don't think you can close out the game, That's what this is for in there as well, because depending on your opponent attacks during their turn, if you have that 2 energy up, sometimes you can have 3 if you use your leader effect just to restand the energy, so you can leave negates and this open, which sometimes is pretty good, and then you can close it out on your next turn. He comes out after combo, you draw a card, and you pick one of your opponent's battle cards and put it in rest mode. So if they're not attacking correctly, you can combo with this, survive that, then choose one of the battle cards they were planning on attacking with and put it in rest mode. So if they're not careful, this can shut down their the whole strategy they had going forward. And it's just all around a good card. It's a big 20k double strike, and if you happen to have Planet Vegeta out, it'll restand, so they can't kill it without a removal because they can't attack it down. Next, we run Swift Retaliation Cooler. We can't run Bad Ring anymore, so this is as good as it gets. And against slower decks, this card really shines because you're allowed to apply so much pressure with your swap engine going into the 3-drop Goku that's like digging deep. And then you just apply pressure, and then you wait it on their turn. A lot of times you can play that big grade 8 Bardock and shut their turn down with that and a blocker or that and a negate, and then it goes back to your turn, and then you can start swinging him for lethal. And if they thought they had a counter to protect him, this will stop that because this is a counter, works just like battering laser, except for you don't have to pitch a card to do it, and you can also draw a card or draw more cards if there's a total of 6 cards in rest mode, which sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. But at that time, a lot of times you're just going for game, so you're not really trying to net that card advantage to go into another turn and win more and stall them out. A lot of times you're going for game, but sometimes the extra cards do help with combo power. The other engine rerun, that's why it's just a little different. We are running a U6 engine. This deck is mono yellow, and Khalifa the Bold Sister. It can't be KO'd, which is permanent. And what it does is allows you to search your top 5 for a Universe 6 card, and you get to put it into your hand. So a lot of times after you go into your swap package at first, you're wanting to see this maybe on your turn 3 or 4, and then you basically jump into this and really close out the game, especially if you combo off an ape and then you have Khalifa swinging. It's pretty dangerous. This, she's really good because what she does is she allows you, basically when you play the card, you get to tap down one of your opponent's energy. Sometimes people will leave energy open thinking they're safe for a negate. And then if you do this, you can just tap that energy down, and now basically the negate they thought they were going to have to stop an attack is no longer there. So it just acts as kind of another out to stopping negates with your cooler. Now, this helps you push game. You can play this offensively or defensively. I am missing one right now, so that's what this is. This is the 4th. But what she does is, if when you combo with her, she'll evolve onto either one of the other Khalifas, this one, or this one. And with her, that's when you bring her out, you're really swinging for a game because you probably already went up your swap chain up to the 3-drop. You might even have a grade 8 Bardock on field, so then it goes to your turn after you combo with the grade 8 Bardock, and you're bringing this in on top of the other Khalifa, and then you're swinging with grade 8s and this, and what's remaining of your swap engine. Plus your Broly leader can restand one of them to swing again, so it's just pretty powerful. And since we're in the 1-drop searcher, we needed more U6 targets for her to hit. So the super combo we decided to play was this one. It's your basic super combo if you're at 4 or less life. You draw a card, 10k. You can use it earlier if you want, but you won't draw a card, but you still get to 10k. But this is in there because of the Khalifa that searches the top 5. So we put in a super combo you could search with that. One of Cold Bloodlust, because you could only run one of, or else we'd probably be running 3 or 4. This is one of the best counterplays in the game because just for the simple cost of 1 yellow energy, basically you get to negate the skills of a battle card for the duration of the turn. So a lot of important things to remember this card that a lot of people don't pay attention to is it's for the duration of turn. So if you negate the skills on a card and then they try to swing in, I've seen people try to like double strike Champa, but that's trying to give it double strike, but when they do that, you got to remind them that this negates the skills for the duration of turn. So if people try to double strike Champa you, it doesn't work. This shuts that down. Just makes your cards 0 skills for the duration of turn, so they can't use other cards to add skills on top of it. Our negate package is 2-2 split. We did 2-time magic on times we have to tap out, and allows you to take a life to negate an attack, and it'll keep it in rest mode, ignoring barrier. So it's pretty good all around negate. And there's certain cards you want to see it against, like Gogeta 7. If they do Gogeta 7 you, which hopefully you should aggro them down before that. This is a good card you would just pray to see off the top, because he won't be able to do his old 3 swings, or any card they want to give 3 swings. Flying Nimbus is 2 of for other aggro matchups, like other, like the blue-yellow Broly Apes, which really isn't aggro, but the Broly U6 deck is really aggro. And there's other aggro decks out there too, but this is just a good card that can shut down their turns. Since we're running Broly, we are running 2 Champas, and Champa's best friend in this deck is Mira, which basically gives you another closer. Because there's turns where you can go into your Khalifa, you already have an Ape out, you already have some of your swap engine out, and then you're also going into this, and then it's relatively impossible for them to stop all those attacks unless they have some kind of crazy Nimbus effect themselves, or Topo. The only thing I'm going to go over real quick is I generally don't go over any sideboards, but in best of 3, I don't have a complete sideboard together because there are cards you always want to... You don't ever want to just copy a sideboard you see, because decks are always changing, the meta is always changing, and some reasons for sideboarding certain cards should change always. But I got a little generic sideboard, not the whole thing, but I just played this in the board for sure. I played this in the board for sure, and then the Victory Strike. Now, the other cards you play in your sideboard, you can mix and match, change, and do whatever you want based on what's going on and where you play. But I run this because they don't see it game 1, and if they don't see it game 1, sometimes it's really good, especially in matchups where HOM is good against, and you know what those matchups are. Like Jinimba, or there's a lot of matchups that this package is still really good against. And if they don't see it game 1, a lot of times game 2 they will not expect to see it. And basically you can just sideboard into a whole different strategy game 2 if you want to, with Son Goku Path to Greatness into High to Mastery, which generally just locks the game down. And then if you get lucky and draw the one of Victory Strike, then you have that as well to also basically win. And with this, the sacrifice you have to make of this, there's no Roshi Shin, there's no Gene here to support, which a lot of times fuels your Sparking 7, which allows you. But between the 4 Successor of Hopes and 4 of this, it's real easy to actually hit that without either of those 2 cards. Because this just goes in your drop, you redraw, and you combo. And even without those cards that are normally in the HOM package, you're easily to get to 7 between the 4 Successors and the 4 Paragus. So, like I said, the rest of the cards you want to put in the sideboard would just be meta dependent, what you see in your meta. So, that's it for this deck tech. I hope you enjoyed. Going forward, it's up in the air how good Broly's going to be, because in the new set, it seems like these baby decks have put a big target on the Broly decks. It's going to be really difficult for Broly to adapt to beat the baby decks. We'll see how much of the new baby support people are going to be playing. It'll be interesting to see. If they don't, then this deck will still be good. But if they do, then a lot of the Broly decks are going to will be hurt pretty bad by the new baby stuff coming out. And that's it, guys. Thank you.